Welcome to the final episode of the Into the Breach Unfair Difficulty Guide with the Rusting Hulks. We can see I have highly upgraded mechs ready to go. Kai Miller in the rocket mech that is more the refractor laser firing platform now. Archimedes in the Pulse Mech with plenty of shields to pass around, and Morgan Lejeune in a heavily upgraded jet mech with guided missiles and heavy rockets. We've got damage, we've got shields, we've got some forced movement, we've got no fear. And that's how you should feel going into the final mission, because it's time to save humanity once more. We can sort of see where some of the grid pylons are going to go because we are limited on where we can place our mechs. But it doesn't really inform the deployment decision too terribly much here. Again, the rest of the grid is invisible. The only way you can get a preview is if you have Ghana, the pilot. Which is a weird little trick that maybe I will showcase one day. Our Op4, that means opposing force, by the way, is a Beetle leader, a Hornet leader, and then an Alpha Hornet, Firefly, Beetle, and Blobber. So it's a pretty well-balanced force. And on the final mission, we'll have some lava tiles appearing for us, which is more dangerous for ground-based units. And unfortunately, the Hornets seem to be the ones closest to the volcano, so not going to get very much value out of the lava just yet. One thing I do notice, and I think it took me a few moments to realize this, is that the Beetle leader will actually just destroy the Blobber Bomb for me, as long as I just leave it alone. So Kai, it actually behooves Kai to not just incinerate the Beetle leader right now. I really only have 4 threats to the grid here. We've got that Alpha Beetle, the Firefly, and then the 2 Hornets. Hornets always causing problems. So we kill the Blobber and the Firefly. That's nice, because we don't have to worry about any more Blobber bombs for the rest of the mission. But what can I do to salvage the rest of the grid? A heavy rocket will one-shot the Hornet, and then I can completely protect the grid from the Hornet leader's attack. So I'm basically letting go 2 grid health to the Beetle. And I think I said in my Riftwalkers playthrough, on the first half of the final mission, I'm usually okay giving up, one section of the grid. But no more than that if I can. You want to maintain as much grid health as you can going into the final half of the mission. So we've kind of, we're taking damage to scale, so to speak. And we're down to a 4v3. The Hornet leader is nice and cooperative. The Beetles are less so. And the Crab is also going to be a problem. Looks like I can get a nice 2-for-1, though, with the Pulse Mech, knocking both the Crab and the Alpha Beetle out of position. We can let the Kai can finally finish off the Beetle leader. And I think the best move is to knock the Hornet leader into the path of the volcano projectile. And then the Alpha Beetle will just run into the lava and kill itself. So we'll be looking at a 1v3 on the next turn. Oh no, 2. We will not block the spawn there, but it's okay. We will still have the action advantage. It's the Scion Tyrant, which is mainly just a threat to Kai. We don't want to have her take any chip damage if possible. When she takes, or when they take any damage at all, we lose the boosted ability, which is no good. If you can get Technician on Kai, though, that's usually a pretty cool combo. Get Morgan charged up, and then we can do some shielded spawn blocking. Keep it to a nice 3v3 on the final turn. We get a Digger, a Scarab, and a Hornet. The Digger has very obligingly committed suicide. So we will have a nice clean board wipe here. And we are going into the second half of the final mission with 5 grid health. The first turn of the second half is usually kind of the make or break moment of the end of the run. The enemy will often go for just a completely, 6v3 grid death blow. It is not uncommon for all 6 of the enemies to attack the grid. And we've got 2 Fireflies, a Blobber, a Digger, the Crab Leader, and the Beetle Leader. So 2 pretty problematic enemies. You also always want to be mindful about where your mechs end their position on this turn, because the very next turn, where they start will become instant death tiles. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 threats to the grid. And fortunately, no threats to the Renfield bomb. So this is a honestly pretty decent first turn for the second half. Kai can get that Digger. We must be careful here. There's lots of instant death tiles hanging around for where the rocks are about to fall. The heavy rocket comes in handy. We can kill that Firefly and push the Beetle out of the way. That just leaves the Firefly. But Archimedes has a little bit of trouble here. Depending on where we execute our push, we are at risk of pushing the Renfield bomb either into damage or getting it completely destroyed. We don't want to do that. That'll extend our timer until the mission is over. Of course, it takes me a while to realize that the best option is to simply put Archimedes in the instant death tile. I can then shield the grid and get that Firefly out of the way. There we go. And we can shield Kai as well. The only downside is we cannot get ourselves on top of a spawn, which is a shame. So we will have a 5v3 for the next turn. But no damage to the Renfield bomb or the grid, so we'll take it. We're not doing too bad. of friendly fire here, which is nice. We get another beetle. The beetle leader is threatening the Renfield bomb. It can go over lava. And in other maps, it can go over water. But we get a nice 2-for-1 solve here. We can push the crab leader out of the way and get the Renfield bomb moved out of harm's way and shielded. So at this point, we've got basically 2 threats to the grid. We've got the Firefly up on the northern part. And then there's the Blobber Bomb. Yeah, I think it's just, actually the Blobber Bomb's okay. The Alpha Beetle will just kill itself. Lava will appear in front of it. Good job, Morgan. So we are in the clear. We can position Archimedes wherever we want. Barring any other options, just putting them basically in the middle of the board is a good idea. Yep, there we go. The next round will be a 3v3. Another Firefly. So we've got 2 threats to the grid. Renfield bomb is shielded, and our so the Blobber bomb is not an immediate threat. I believe Kai's best move is probably just to kill the Firefly. And then between Morgan and Archimedes, we can handle the crab leader. Matter of fact, I think with boost, the heavy rocket, yep, that'll do it. 1 shot. Nice. Oh, we can just use the instant death rocks. That's cool. And get rid of that pesky blobber. So the final turn will be a 3v3, but it's fine. We're in real good shape. The Renfield bomb is shielded. We've got a grid pylon shielded. The classic 3 scorpions. Triple scorpion. And really, at this point, it's GG. We just gotta get Kai out of harm's way. But they can just, you know, defend themselves. And we can use our final heavy rocket to have a clean board and a clean end to the run. And I believe my final score was higher than the Riftwalkers series by a little bit, which I was surprised by. It felt like I was a little bit sloppier on this run, but I guess not. I don't know how the math works necessarily on, you know, lives lost when a grid building goes down. My difference was only a few hundred souls. But that concludes our Rusting Hulks playthrough. And by the time we had replaced the rocket artillery with the refractor laser, we were kind of just watching, you know, a high-level, you know, 4-island snowball in action. The earlier episodes will give you a better sense of the Rusting Hulk's inherent capabilities, but as you can see, they're a strong squad overall. I think their main weakness is dealing with the jet mechs limitations. at the beginning of the run. And I think low-key, the guided missile carried us. Well, next is the Zenith Guard, and I hope to see you there on our next adventure. And thank you for watching.